So thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here and present a little of our work. One thing that MIT always requires me before any of the presentations is to disclose that we have, MIT has several patents in this area, and also I have equity in a company that license these patents and commercialize that. Now, I'm going to try to cover quite some material in this talk, but one thing that I want to start is by mentioning why this area is important. So if we think about real estate, we all know what are the important things when you think about buying a new home. And that's our location, location, location. But when we think about innovation, what is the most important thing that we need to focus on? Many of you might know that, but if not, it's what typically in business schools they will be teaching us, is that, the most important things are the need, the need, the needs. So one of the things that are very important for us to look is there a need for what we are doing? And the numbers are very clear that there is a very large need for what this area of rehabilitation robotics. Just to give you an idea, when I start working in this area in 1989, I would start giving talks saying that there were around 400,000 new strokes every year in the United States. And today, 25 years later, what we have is close to 800,000. So the numbers had doubled of the incidence of stroke because the population is aging. And if the US is around 800,000, in Europe the numbers are even larger, depending how you define the boundaries. You would have between 900,000 to 1.1 million. In Japan is around 210,000 new strokes every year. And if stroke is the third cause of death in the developed world, is the #1 cause of death in the developing world. So both in my home country of Brazil or in China, stroke is the #1 cause of death. And the numbers would keep increasing because if you look to the population, this is the data from the UN of people over 65. Here in yellow you have Japan. So by the time my grad students would be retiring in 2050, what you'll have is that in Japan you'll have around 38% of the Japanese population would be over 65 years of age. In Europe, it would be around 30%, and the US is the youngest of the developed nations. We are going to pass from 14% to around of 20%